This is The Launch, episode 23 for June 3rd, 2025. Streaming from the beautiful Pacific Northwest and the mighty American West Coast, we greet you all a good morning, a good evening, whenever your timeline may fall, time-appropriate greetings indeed to one and all. This is The Launch, and my name is Chris.
And I'm Angela.
And my name is Brent.
Well, hello to you both. We got a good launch coming up. A few things everyone should know about before we get into it. We'd love it if you called us live when we get to the song of the week. The lines will be open. Give us a ring. 774-462-5667. That is 774-462-5667. You can also leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on next week's episode. This show's live on Tuesdays and releases for download on Wednesdays. We invite you to join us for either, whatever fits your schedule. We've got the Mumble Room going as well. You can join us in there. We always love it if you join us in the chat room. Help us title it, topic suggestions, react in real time. And then we package it all up in a real nice version for our Jupiter Party members as well. There's a little bit for everybody. And links for what we talk about today will be at weeklylaunch.rocks. Well, Andrews, you have quite the adventure going on at home. Sounds like you've got yourself a dog again, a new puppy after many years.
Yes, after a lot of years.
Many years.
Because, we had, you and I, 2 cats in the, 2000?
Yeah.
Year 2000-ish?
Yeah, it was kind of shortly after for a while.
I guess 2000. Yeah. 2 cats, and then we had 2 dogs.
Yeah, great dogs.
And then after Abby was born, we didn't have any animals.
Yeah.
And then Dylan ended up allergic to cats and dogs.
Crazy allergic.
And then 2 years ago, I adopted my neighbor's cat. I think that was 2 years ago. Anyway, regardless, we have 2 cats right now. And then, yes, my boyfriend moved in and brought his dog, Moose.
That dog named Moose. It was, with a name like that.
Like him already.
You're picking a big dog.
Yeah,
big,
for sure.
Big dog. Like a
big
mastiff.
shoulders, right?
Yeah.
Let me get a picture.
Yeah. Maybe like a Bernese mountain dog kind of a thing, you know? Big dog.
It's actually Mousse.
Huh?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like chocolate mousse.
That sounds like so he's a culinary delight.
Yeah.
Oh. Lovely. Whoa, I just saw a photo.
Very cute.
I'm going to put it in the chat. So it is really interesting. It reminds me why it was so nice to not have dogs anymore.
Oh!
Ouch.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say they're so loving and loyal and kind.
I'm not a hater. It's just so it's like a step toward having another kid.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, for sure. They just don't ever grow up.
Cats are like
independent creatures.
Yes, and I'm just So yeah, it has been an adjustment. I know that dogs get into things, and
Oh, my cats get into things. So I don't...
well, yeah. I mean, we've established a pretty good routine of the cats not getting into things, right? But now there's a whole new layer with a dog. So I'm trying to send this to the chat, but I don't want it to delay the show.
But who's a better snuggle buddy, right? The dog was a good snuggle buddy.
Oh, yeah. No,
Levi's
she's super
pretty good
sweet.
at snuggly.
Yeah. So I estimated that Dylan would benefit the most from this dog, and he does love having a dog around to pet. I thought Bella also. I thought Bella the most, actually. But Bella is holding tight to her warrior cats, like,
Cat only, yeah.
So I think she secretly does like having the dog, but she's putting up a front at the moment. But it's actually Abby. Abby is really enjoying Moose, which is nice. So anyway, we were going to bring Moose to the studio today.
I said, where's Moose?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that meat?
No,
It's
that
a
is
rock?
a big bar of chocolate
Oh,
that Abby
chocolate.
had in her room that Moose
No.
Got into.
got into.
Took some
And
bites
so
off
we were unsure
Yeah.
what's stomach type of issues would happen in the car on the way here or here.
Yeah.
So I am curious.
Remember one of our dogs ate one of those orange chocolate balls? Like the whole thing?
Yeah,
The foil and all.
I mean, they are delicious.
they are. But yeah, chocolate's no good for dogs. So yeah.
Did you use a chocolate calculator? There's a bunch of chocolate calculators online to see if like
Really?
the severity of things. Yeah.
Like
So-
you weigh that you put the dog weight in and like how much chocolate they've eaten?
well, and the type of chocolate too matters.
Oh,
It's it's dark chocolate, the worst, right? Yeah, I know. So
Why
the
does she even
calculator,
have a bar? She doesn't like dark chocolate.
I know what
Sophisticated.
yeah. So I just messaged her with girl with a period, at school. It took her like an hour and 15 minutes, but then she messaged me back. And so she said that Moose probably didn't eat much at all. It like just scrapes. So that's good.
Yeah.
But like, what the heck? Why do you have a giant?
Oh,
it's
she
like
stashes candy all the time. She's a candy stasher.
I know. It's like a baking chocolate. And at first I thought it was like my peanut butter
Wait,
ball chocolate,
yeah.
but it's not. It's dark chocolate. It's not. This is not my chocolate.
She smuggled it from the RV.
I think she did because Dia, when she makes treats, she uses dark chocolate.
Yeah, well, she does sometimes use dark chocolate, although I try to talk her out of it, but then this Brent guy comes around and the dark chocolate comes back out again.
I can't eat the soup and milky stuff.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, I would be curious from the audience, just tips and tricks for this integration.
Yeah.
It is.
How's the cat dog situation going?
So I thought, okay, so Rocky was raised with dogs.
Sure.
And puppies. And then Gypsy was raised with a dog. They slept together, but Gypsy doesn't want anything to do with this dog. And Rocky, well, he's staying out all the time, or for the most part, he is an outdoor cat, especially during this season. But he is more accepting
Not too big of a
for
deal.
some reason. Yeah.
Well, that's good, I suppose.
Yeah.
Better than both of them having a hard time.
PP has taken us, Gypsy. I got so casual there. We call Gypsy PP. Anyway, Gypsy has taken swipes at Moose.
Which is funny because we call Levi Poops because it's, a puppy.
You call him a great number of things.
Yeah, he has like 30 nicknames, but Poop and Oops or just Poops for short. So Levi's
and Oops.
Poops and the cat's PP.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. So I would like to know from the audience, what's your ridiculous nickname for your pet? Because
Yeah.
I think we all do this, unfortunately.
I've got another
yeah.
one. I've got another one. Levi. Also, I sometimes call him Bovarian.
Yeah,
Or
Bovie.
Or Bovie. Or
Boverson.
the Bavarian window.
Oh my
like
gosh.
the Overton window, but
Yeah.
it's the Bavarian. And these are all just like these just a couple of his nicknames.
Yeah.
And he responds to all of them.
If you're going to give me food, I'll respond to
Yeah,
anything
right.
you say.
I
Oh,
sometimes call Rocky Broccoli.
Oh, that's cute.
So Moose's real name is Daisy.
Oh,
Yeah. So
the nicknames continue.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Moose is such a great name.
yeah, it is.
I mean, also because, Moose looks like a brown chocolate treat, which is probably why Moose was drawn to chocolate treats.
Yep.
They love that chocolate, those stupid dogs. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, tips for integrating dogs, especially into a household with cats. And if you yourself have ever had an animal, then went a long time and got that animal, like a dog again, let us know. Boost it in. Fountain.fm's probably the easiest way to do it. You can get some sats real easy and then send them in. We got a big update on that, too, later on in the show. But that's not all. You also have a car update for us, because we know you were getting your car ready for a road trip, had to do some tire work and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And then the road trip didn't happen. And ultimately, this is just a good segue into your vehicle news, too. But I noticed just 2 weeks after I got new tires that my driver's side tire was not holding air. Yeah.
Couldn't hold wind.
And I've been driving Bella out to Sultan for trumpet lessons, which is minimum hour 15-minute drive. And so
you don't need a tire for that.
I finally put air in it because these are brand new tires.
Yeah.
I don't want them, the wear, to be
They shouldn't be losing
bad.
tire
No.
air. Oh,
No.
It makes me think
Yeah.
you got like a stem leak or something.
Right?
That's
so
defective.
yeah,
For
so
sure.
I did put air in it, and then it was still losing pretty slowly, like at least. But my car had notified me, hey, the air. So I went to the Subaru dealership that's literally just a half a mile away, and they took it back and they soaped it, and they sent me a video
Good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
showing where the bubbles were
Sweet.
coming out,
Okay.
the stem
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
stem leak, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, why? And I didn't understand
They use
that
old-
when I got new tires,
Yeah.
that they
They use the
that's
old
not part of
stems.
it.
Yeah.
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 So
What?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
is it? I mean, yeah.
Because
That's how they
it's
do it.
so easy to change that when you're in there. Like,
Right, well, here's the thing. My previous tires had no leaks.
oh, man.
So this dude tried to tell me that I must have hit a curb
oh, I see.
or bent the stem somehow. And I looked, there is no
Yeah,
crazy woman driver damage
Yeah, there'd be marks
near
on the
this
tire.
stem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have
no.
marks, yeah.
And I didn't have that issue before. So they're like, oh yeah, well, you should talk to the the guy that you work with over there. So I left after spending an hour there last week after we recorded.
Yeah.
That's straight where I went
Wow.
because I need this resolved. And so I talked to the gal that had worked with me through all the other stuff, and she's like, "Wait a second, they didn't fix it?" I was like, well, no. I mean, I assume it must be like a big expense or something, which is kind of sucky because these are brand new tires and I didn't have this issue before. Like they can look. I never had to put air in my tires. She's like, they should have fixed it. It's only like $30.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay. So that's where my car is right now. Getting the stem fixed or whatever.
And
So
if you've ever seen a tire get put on a rim or like a valve changed like that, it's like a 5-minute job.
Well, and
It's so easy.
I can understand like probably 1 out of 1,000 there might be damage to the stem. Like I'm not even mad that it happened.
Yeah,
it's just a
things happen,
casualty of, it just happens.
wear and tear on a
but
tire.
don't blame it on me.
Yeah, well, also,
When there's nothing
if you're
to
in there,
support that.
why not get new stems?
Oh
too?
yeah.
And it's the driver's side. I'm not parallel parking on that side. Like how? How? I mean, we have a lot of roundabouts, so maybe, but but there's no damage.
I gotta say, roundabouts in Idaho, very fancy.
Is her name Rihanna?
Who?
The gal that helped you at the Subaru dealership?
0 to 50 and 8.5?
No, like
or 0 to 60?
Rihanna
no,
Romanek?
No, it's Shelly.
Oh, okay. Because I got an email yesterday, 23 hours ago. Dear Angela,
yeah.
thank you for choosing Kendall Subaru. We appreciate your business and value your feedback. We're always striving to improve our services.
Dude.
So how
No. So
how did they get my email address?
I don't know.
I've never bought a
so
Subaru.
I know. So last week when I brought it there, I was looking at the receipt and I saw your email address there and I was like, how do they have that?
They must have bought another dealership. Maybe I bought from, and they merged the dealerships. Maybe.
Kendall Subaru though, no. I mean, you have bought a lot of cars.
Yeah, so maybe some. I mean, maybe there's like a bigger company that owns Kendall
Acura?
Subaru.
Does Acura own it? Because
I bought a few Acuras.
where did you get that Acura TL? No, not TL, not the green one, the black one. The Acura.
From the Acura dealership in
okay.
the Linwood
yeah,
area.
Yeah, okay. I know. I need to get that fixed. I was like,
it's funny. I don't even know how it happens. It's the kind of thing that
it's really weird.
just occasionally happens from time to time.
No, and because I have my car registered on Kendall or on Subaru.com or whatever with my email address. So I don't know why.
It's so weird.
It is so weird.
The other one that was weird that happened not too long ago was somehow adding Ange as an authorized user to the AT&T account. AT&T flipped it so Ange owned the account.
Yeah.
Even though I pay for it, they flipped it so she owns it, and then I couldn't make any changes because I was no longer an authorized user.
Yeah, and it must have been like that for years.
Yeah,
because
I just never make changes.
Yeah, we never had to make any modifications.
But it's like these things
except
just happen.
you added your mom.
Yeah, I did. I did since I know.
So you had it then.
I know.
And we haven't been in an AT&T store together.
No. All right, so I asked Perplexity who owns the dealership, and it says that the Kendall Subaru of Marysville is owned by the Kendall Auto Group, a family of owned and operated group of automobile dealerships that have been serving the Pacific Northwest since 1937. So it's the largest privately owned auto dealership group in our region, it says.
Wow.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask them how that was added.
They just
and
like
when.
merged all their documents together or something.
That's what
all
I'm
their
thinking.
accounts.
How though?
Well, some IT guy had
They
a brilliant idea
They
one day.
do operate some Acura
You know what?
dealerships, it says.
Oh, okay,
Ah.
all right. So then it might make sense for like the for my not my MDX, but the lease, the TL.
Oh, yeah.
I like how this has become like the modern tech Sherlock and Watson show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Oh,
If you
and
have some strange tech issue with your, everyday technology, call into the show.
this could be it too. This would explain the current situation. It looks like they own the Volkswagen dealership
Ooh,
that
there
I
you
bought
go.
my car from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So isn't that
right.
funny how yay,
That's
big
stupid.
corporations. Yay.
We've been divorced since 2015.
This stuff still happens. It's so wild.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sure people out there, if you have a crazy story about this, call in and leave us a voicemail. I want to hear it. 774-462-5667. This has got to happen to some of you out there. I got a crazy AI story for you, but before we get there, we have a little good news. We have a quick van update, because we have a boost about too, so we could probably save some of this. But the van is road legal.
Woo!
That's so incredible.
Big milestone. It is legally on the road in Washington. And Brent's back visiting. We're going to get some van projects done and some other car work done, hopefully, too, if energy allows. So basically, all the cars need work.
Don't buy cars.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, man.
It's just like a maintenance burden that never goes away, right?
It seems so.
Yeah, the whole van licensing thing, I'm so deeply pleased about that because this whole crazy adventure like hinged on the fact that we could actually get the thing licensed for a reasonable cost. And that completely happened. Best case scenario yesterday. I came to Washington on Chris's invite because we were both starting to freak out about the fact that this thing wasn't licensed and like
there's a 30-day deadline once the vehicle, an unlicensed vehicle is in the state. You have 30 days to get it registered with the state, or it's a $550 fine.
Oh my
and then
goodness.
the fine continues. I don't know what they didn't tell me what the timeline was, but then there's additional fines.
Dude, the fine is more than we paid for the thing.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, and we got down to like day 25, I think.
Yeah.
Because we had to go to Boston and travel a bunch, and we walked the line.
So, Chris, I think we were going into the office thinking, okay, how do we possibly at least start the process so this like ticking time delay kind of goes away?
Yeah, we went in there thinking we'll start the process and then we'll have to go through all these hoops of, according to Perplexity, we needed to do a VIN inspection and we had to bring it to a location to do that. So if you got to bring a van to a location, well, that location is the state patrol. So you're bringing the van to the state patrol
illegally
to be inspected.
driving it there.
Yeah. So then I'm like, okay, well, how do I get this van to the state patrol inspection? It's
You
like,
could get a temporary.
you got to get a temporary, which will last 3 days, and you need this documentation with insurance proof and all this. So we thought, yeah, this is step one of a 3-day process.
I also 100% expected a mechanical safety check because most provinces where I'm from, it's like if you're moving between borders and trying to register from one to the other, you definitely need to have it mechanically safety looked at.
Or
to make
emissions,
sure it's,
right?
Some places do have emissions for sure.
I think we stopped doing emissions, not just the farm cities, but all cities.
Thank goodness.
No, I think King County still does it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. But
The
Snohomish,
worst county.
Snohomish, the snobs down in King County. But it's the farm folk up here in Snohomish and in Skagit, I think, have been petitioning to walk that back. So you got lucky.
I think we got lucky. And somehow it's under your name. I don't know how I feel about this anymore, but certainly to get the thing registered in Canada, it needed also to be actively registered. So this is a huge milestone because now all of the unknowns, I think, especially from a bureaucratic perspective, have just been solved. Assuming, I guess there is still some kind of VIN inspection that they're going to do on it. We'll see.
Yeah.
So assuming all that goes well, I think this is a huge, huge, huge good thing for us.
Yeah. And that means we can start planning for road trips and working on it. Very excited. We'll have more details on that. That's the story really is just now beginning. You know?
Oh, man.
Just getting it here and getting it legal was just the very beginning. All right, well, this week on the show, we're going to tell you the story of a company called Builder.ai, once valued at $1.5 billion and backed by Microsoft with $455 million infusion of cash. Well, they just filed for bankruptcy this week, and it revealed that their so-called technology was actually humans on the back end just doing outsourced work with human engineers. The deception lasted for 8 years before falling apart at the end of May. And now that Builder AI is entering insolvency proceedings, we're getting all of the juicy goss. But I thought, wouldn't it be fun to go back in time a little bit and listen to some of the outlandish claims of their co-founders and CEOs to remind us that we can't believe a thing these people tell us. I bring you to 2 years ago, where the co-founder is being interviewed by Bloomberg, and the pie-in-the-sky journalist asks him about their incredible partnership and cooperation with Microsoft Azure.
People might have gotten the wrong end of the stick a few weeks ago when they saw that you took money from Microsoft and you're building within their platform, offering your services on Microsoft. Why did you do that? If you're looking, I'm trying to insinuate and read between the lines that you're building to be a big public company, individual, and scale great heights.
Look, and it might sound brazen. We're looking to build $1 trillion business.
Oh!
We're not looking to sell for a few billion. It's not our MO.
So they're looking to build $1 trillion. They don't want to sell for a few bill. And then listen to the way he tries to spin the relationship with Microsoft, because this was a key moment. What this revealed is they had outsourced all of their infrastructure to Microsoft, and that meant they probably didn't actually have any technological secret sauce, if you really thought about it. So he has to spin it away from that line of thinking into a much more generous way of thinking about it.
Because it's never about the money, as much as money is important. And so when you're looking to build that big, and you're looking to be that grassroots in how stuff is used, Office is used everywhere, Windows is used everywhere. There's a lot of patterns you learn from someone that's already solved the problem. I think the second is always, again, it's balance. And so we have two corporates that have had work with us. One we haven't disclosed yet for obvious reasons. But
Totally.
with Microsoft, the key was alignment around mission.
Yeah.
They want to digitally transform the world. Alignment around values.
You can kind of get an idea of the way this generic speak and, claiming that partnering with Microsoft is about being grassroots. Like, I don't know what kind of backwards world this guy lives in. But these types of people who were gaslighting the entire time, they had no technology stack. They were using Azure for essentially a web front end and then outsourcing the AI work jobs to Indian workers on contract. Mm-hmm. That's what their actual technology stack was.
It was people behind the AI.
And
that's crazy.
So here he is, because these guys, they're thought leaders, they're innovators, they're disruptors. So they constantly get asked to pontificate on the most important questions of our time. And one of them is AI's use of intellectual property. And this guy, like all of these guys, tries to take a hard line to sound like a big thinker that's trying to shake things up. And he was asked if there are any red lines for intellectual property in AI use, or if it can just use anything it wants.
So what are the red lines here as we talk about AI?
I think the problem is there aren't red lines right today. And
What?
so, let's redefine the problem. We all went to university. So we
Right here, you get a sense of the hubris.
Did
Just
we?
right here. Let's redefine the problem.
And so, let's redefine the problem. We all went to university. So we read books. You were inspired by what you read to do the career that you're doing. Well, at what point does inspiration become copying? And at what point does inspiration become plagiarism? Now the argument here is this is industrialized inspiration. And so I think there is a really fine line between copying. So I think on the Scarlett Johansson one, it's clear you can't take someone's voice. But at the same time, at what shade of change of voice is it no longer that person's voice?
I always like that you can definitely not steal a thing, but, those kinds of statements, like that's this guy to a T. Let's redefine the problem. We don't want to tamp down on industrial scale innovation here. We want industrial scale innovation, right? So that's who has been leading this company. He was one of the co-founders. And they falsely inflated revenue by billing each other for services that they never rendered between 2021 and 2024. They worked with a company called Verse. So these two collabed behind the scenes. Now, Verse is denying these accusations, saying they're baseless and false at this time. But according to the bankruptcy proceedings, Verse and Builder AI just bought and sold a bunch of services from each other, but never actually invoiced for it. But made the revenue, like, look at all this revenue we have coming in. We have millions of dollars coming in on the paperwork, but then on the back end, they never invoiced for it. On both sides. And Verse says that's not true, but pretty wild. So faking the AI technology by outsourcing to 700 different humans, and then faking revenue, too, to make it look like you're making a bunch of money, and then going on Bloomberg and CNBC, which are the two sources I just played, and pontificating like you're this big disruptor. We're not trying to build and sell for a few bill. We're going to build trillions of dollars by grassroots building on top of Azure, right? It's just the spin, I think, is really educational. Like, this Builder AI moment is an opportunity for all of us to see how these tech CEOs play the game. And the game has just been exposed for all of us right here with Builder AI.
The thing that is the most interesting to me, I think, is the 700 people, because you could potentially have generated a legitimate business doing this, like get some engineering very quickly with like a huge, massive team of actual engineers. But also the fact that they lasted 8 years and nobody really even noticed. What does that say about current technology, or also
Right.
of like this list? Like,
This was the best AI around.
Right.
well, or is this the best engineering that we have that we could do it really quickly, but also like, is this where all engineers end up?
This is how they pitch themselves. Builder AI. We make building an app so easy, anyone can do it. Your vision, your software, we just build it. AI means we can build more cost effectively and at speed.
Does AI mean all Indians?
Yes, I think it does.
Oh,
in this case.
my gosh.
I think it does. It's all Indians. Oh, man. Yeah, so here's how it works. You chat with their AI, Natasha. I love it when they name it after a woman. Love that, right? We can't just call it something generic. You know, you could call it like the Omniputer or something like that. No, it's got to be Natasha. Then you get a fixed price and accurate timings. Then you get your own dedicated expert. AI assembles your app like a Lego set. That's what it says right here. AI assembles your app like a Lego set. And then features are customized by human specialists. And then your app's ready to go. Start building software now. No tech knowledge needed. I mean, you're right. It's actually not a bad business idea if you just drop the AI bullshit.
Yeah, like don't
Right.
lie about it. And then it's
Yeah.
actually a great product. Especially if you say like, well, we have real humans working on your project instead of AI. Like, I
Right,
know
lean
that's
into
not
it.
what they wanted to build, but you could totally do
don't
that.
vibe code a crappy app. Hire real humans at scale at a decent price.
I also have to say, what an incredible feat to generate, I don't know, code fast enough that it feels like it's AI generated because like, that's impressive.
It's probably super high quality.
Well,
What's great is if the contractors you're hiring produce crap code, you can always just say, oh, yeah, it's AI. Sorry. You know, you get away with more. Ha! Maybe we should try this. Got a business idea now. All right, so there's a couple of big things in the works for the podcasting space, which is really nice to see after YouTube has been clobbering the market for the last couple of years. And one of them is Fountain FM. The podcast app creators have soft launched a new podcast hosting platform. So in the style of like Fireside or Podhome or RSS Blue, they've soft launched it because you really won't see any details on their website, but they have talked about it on their Podcasting 2.0 podcast. And for about the last year, almost on a weekly basis, I've been doing a video call with them to help consult on the development of the platform's features. So it's really starting with a baseline of what would Chris need to use a podcast hosting platform? And then they built out the features from there. And so it is feature rich. And they got a lot more in the pipeline too. And the beautiful thing is the Fountain FM podcast, and this is not a paid advertisement, I'm just very excited. Finally, somebody's implementing all the things in the right order, and then you combine it with the app. It really is a nice package. They're truly simplifying the podcasting 2.0 features. So they're going to automatically handle transcripts when you upload your podcast. They'll automatically do chapters and add it to the RSS feed if you want, with all the correct feed tags in the podcasting 2.0 standard spec. So you just do a regular old podcast like you've always done, and you upload it, and then you opt in to the automatic stuff as much as you want, which is chef's kiss, because podcasts sort of suffer from an SEO dead man's land where the Google search engines and the Bings of the world, they don't generally index the inside of a podcast. They do YouTube videos because YouTube as a platform generates transcripts. And so they can ingest the transcript. We need that in podcasting.
Yep.
And podcasters that start embracing things like chapters and transcripts and live streams, the lit tag, and boosts and all the things that you could do with Podcasting 2.0, they stand out from the podcasts that don't have those features. And as a listener and you start enjoying these features, you start looking for podcasts that have these things. Once you get used to chapters and transcripts, it really sucks going back. And it feels like the podcaster is being lazy. So what they're doing to just kind of automatically generate all that stuff so everybody can have it, really nice. And they're also they are the first platform to integrate download performance with boost performance in the dashboard.
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. It is really slick. It was my idea. I'll take credit for it. It was sort of the genesis of my involvement with the consulting. So it's really nice. And low key, there are folks out there, I won't say who are also making it possible to do the entire boost process from a listener side using fiat. Integration with Stripe, it just uses your bank card. You don't have to worry about sats at all.
Nice.
And then on the back end for us, and this is key, and I'll explain why in a moment, on the back end for us, it still comes in as a boost using all of that technology. And The reason why that matters is if you look at the arc of Jupiter Broadcasting, dealing with listener feedback has been a constant challenge. It's a good problem to have, but we've thrown everything at it. Like Linux Unplugged started as a feedback program to Linux Action Show because we had so much email coming into Linux Action Show. I was spending hours sorting it and organizing it, and I thought, well, this is as much time as I spend prepping a show, so I'm going to start, and I called it like Linux Action Show Unplugged or something. Like if you look in my Dropbox, the actual original folder names are like Linux Action Show Feedback Show, Linux Action Show Unplugged. And then it became clear that that was a stupid idea for a podcast and that it needed to be its own show, and it grew on its own. But like years and years of trying to solve this problem the right way, including creating podcasts around it. And so what has really been a game changer with the boosts, besides the value attached to them, which has been absolutely great, is the technology. It's a huge win behind the scenes for us because, first of all, it's an open messaging system built on top of the Lightning Network. So there's no company that owns it. It's not a Google protocol. It's not a Microsoft protocol. It's not an Apple protocol. It's not a Spotify protocol. The entire system is open source. It's an open standard. There's no company we're building this technology on top of. But every boost message comes in with show metadata, the episode, the name, sometimes where you were at in the position for some podcast apps. All of these things combine to make unique identifiers for each message and for which show they go to. So we on the back end now get messages coming in a structured data format, generally JSON, that sit in a database. So with email, yeah, you can build some scripts and some automation on top of your email inbox, and you can do layers of turtles as much as you want. But this is like internet native messaging. It goes into a database, and it has structured data in there, and so we can build an ecosystem of applications on top of that, and Wes has. And so when things come in, they're automatically getting tagged and pre-sorted before we even bother with them. And then we have a report we can go to that sorts them automatically for each show for that episode and then formats them all in Markdown in the correct order and then spits them out and goes directly into our show notes. And it takes something that used to be the work of an entire show and makes it a 30-second process for us to collect the feedback. It has been a huge game changer. So in a show where maybe we could have read 2 emails, we could now read 20, 25 boosts. I mean, it really increases the scale. And so Fountain building on top of this system is going to be fantastic in terms of analytics, but then other players coming into the space to also enable fiat payment boosts is going to open this up to even more people to participate, people that are maybe worried about, access to sats in their country or something like that. So, I mean, massively huge when you combine all of these things together, UI improvements to the Fountain app that are coming, fiat ability for boosts, and a podcast hosting platform. The remainder of this year is going to be massive for Podcasting 2.0. And the Podverse app is currently being rebuilt from the ground up to be even better, and it's GPL, and it's going to be great. I am excited because the only kind of like limiting factor to participating in the boost has really been you have to have a way to buy sats. And Strike's available in like 115 countries, right? There's the Bitcoin Well in Canada, River here in the U.S. There's lots of good, safe places to buy your sats from, but you still have to know the good from the bad, and it's asking for a lift before you can send your message. So it's always been a barrier to the boost. So to be able to just connect to anything that supports Stripe, any payment card you have with Stripe, that's coming down the road. It'll be in the future. These things take time to work out, but there'll be players out there that have Stripe support at the boost level soon, combined with like Fountain's new podcasting platform that supports all these Podcasting 2.0 features right out of the box where the podcaster doesn't have to do extra work. It's going to be a good year.
There's a question here from Westbot wondering if there's an API that's going to be available for this.
They know that is a top feature.
Okay,
they know. Right. I tried to get it at launch, but I had to,
You couldn't get all your nuggets?
No.
I know this kind of topic makes you uncomfortable, but I also want to say kudos to you, Chris. Like,
for me?
Well, I think you've been advocating for Podcast 2.0 features for a long time now. I mean, office hours, I think, made a real big difference in spreading some of the word of new Podcast 2.0 features and the developers behind it and just trying to make a difference there. But the fact that you've been allowed and able and invited to do a little consulting means that some of the crazy systems that we've built here at JB just to try to sort boosts out and stuff have made it to the wider world and are going to make Podcasting 2.0 even better.
I'll tell you, one of the features they've built in that obviously people like us need is multi-show support.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. Most of these platforms just assume you have one podcast, and if you want to have more, you got to like create another account and another account, right? So they have built in the concept of a podcast network, if you want it, from the beginning. Oh, you know how long I've wanted that?
Right.
So it's really, for the people that coming up after us, instead of kicking the ladder, we're making it even easier. Like it really is. And they don't have lit support yet, which is what we do for this show, where in the RSS feed, we actually mark the podcast as live. And if your podcast app supports that, it can just stream the show live when it is live. Cool feature. And it brings you to the top of the podcast list, and podcast apps are working on featuring live podcasts more in the app. So a lot of the podcast apps like Fountain, eventually when you open them, right there on the main page, they're going to make it more clear, hey, these podcasts you subscribe to are live. Think about what that means for us. If we're one of those podcasts that is live, then when somebody's opening up their app and they're trying to pick what to listen to that day, we're right there at the top of the list, and we're read and live, and you can tap in and you're getting the thing just as it's happening. I mean, that's exciting. And so Fountain's going to be building that into the support into the platform very soon too.
I have a question for you. So we've been dreaming up a bunch of features that we want to see these platforms come out with, especially in the podcasting 2.0 space. Yeah, we built a few in-house that are really good too. Do you have any in your queue currently that you're like, oh, I really wish we had this
feature?
One thing that we haven't really started advocating for starting on yet?
Spec-wise, not really.
Okay.
No, they are working on authorship and things like that, which will be just right now, there's no way at the RSS level, they're solving this, but there's no way at the RSS level to say all these shows are associated with Jupiter Broadcasting. Like if you look at each individual show RSS feed, there's nothing that connects all the shows together. And maybe if you like one show, you might like another show.
That's sweet.
And so they're working on the concept, and this will also apply for audiobooks and music. So, music artists that upload multiple albums, you could then go to that one artist and see all of their albums, right? Or that one author and see all their audiobooks, or that one podcaster and you can see all their podcasts. But you don't want individual platforms like Apple and Fountain and everybody implementing their own version of this, because it's going to be crap and they're going to do it. They're going to miss podcasts. Like people do this all the time. Like some of these sites like True Fans and other, they'll create a Jupiter Broadcasting group, but they'll miss a show because they don't know.
Yeah.
So if we can just define it at the RSS feed level,
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
Be neat if, you take that a little further and you can have it for hosts too. So if you have a host who, I don't know, spreads across different networks or is a guest on various networks, then you can just...
That will be a thing too. So you be able to say, yeah, exactly.
Delicious.
Yeah, it'll work for guests and all that kind of stuff.
Basically credits for the episode. You can have Drew in there too. And it's like, oh man, the future is fun.
There is editor credits in there too, yeah. So that I'm really excited to see get more support and rolled out.
Nice.
It's early, but the apps just have to implement the support.
Well, I'm just going to make a quick call to my launch. I haven't checked in since yesterday. 774-462-5667. That's it. All right. 774-462-5667. Call now.
So this week we have I'm feeling like it's kind of a summer song. I don't know. You listen and be the decider, but if you boost the song while it's playing, 95% of your sats will go to the artist, and it's She's on Video by Graffiti.
breathing while we're still allowed. I can never say what it means. Yes, we're safe, but living machines. Analog is dangerous. We can look but never touch. Are you still out there? Are you still waiting for the end? Are you still out there? Something's worth waiting for. She's on video. She's on video. She's on video. She's on video. She's on
This is a Jupiter Broadcasting production.
And now, on with the show. Make it so.
Fun will now commence.
Oh, we do have some boosts, and we have ourselves a caller. And I say the caller goes to the front of the line. What do you say, Andrew?
Yeah, I
Should we
think
do
so
it?
too.
All right. Let's do it. Let's see if our caller's there. Caller, hello. Welcome to the launch. Are you there?
I am there. It's Wes with a beach report.
Nailed it.
Hello, Wes. Welcome to the show. Yeah,
Hello.
Wes is at the beach. Tell us about it. How's it going, Wes?
Oh, it's going great. I'm outside staring at the Pacific Ocean, and I wanted to report that just down the street, there is a location called Winters by the Sea. I think it's open all year round because, here's the review, we enjoyed a nice midweek stay in our RV at Winters by the Sea.
Oh.
The site is a quiet neighborhood, part of the Ocean Beach waterfront with no traffic noise. There was a
No.
Beach reception.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. It's also the name of a...
This is my little attempt.
Wes, did you know?
Coax you all down here.
We got a spot.
Ooh.
Wes, did you know it's also the name of a historical romance novel?
Oh, even better. I
Yeah.
mean, given the sort of weird three-way with you two in the van,
Hey.
it's interesting.
So I have a question for you, Wes. You've seen two oceans in the last week or so. What do you think? Which one is better?
It's got to be the Pacific. It's got to be. Come on.
I think we saw bigger waves at the Atlantic, which makes sense because it's the angry ocean.
Yeah.
But in terms of beach rocks and just sheer scale, I got to give it to the Pacific. And I think it's winning on the ocean noise roar sound, too, which,
yeah.
as a podcast, we care the most about.
Yeah, it's a powerful ocean with powerful fish in it, and the Atlantic's a dirty, angry ocean, so it's obvious, really.
Well, Wes and I are culinary buddies. So which one tastes better, Wes?
Oh, that? I'll have to let you know when I get back from the trip. I have more homework to do.
Yeah, do some studying. All right, Wes, it was great to hear from you. Thanks for calling.
Have a great show.
Yeah, have a great trip at the beach. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
How about that, Wes Payne? Bye, Wes.
Bye.
All right, thank you, Wes. That's fun. A beach report. I was hoping he would call. Now, we do have some great boosts that we want to get to, and our baller boost this week is from the always handsome and fantastic supporter, Adversaries 17.
Hey, Rich Lobster!
And this came in last week. Adversaries writes, live boost! Thank you. 64,000 cents. Hexdrop came in with 17,444 sats.
Put some macaroni and cheese on there, too.
Yeah, they say the first boost goes to the lunch. I'll take the daily special, please. You got it. Mac and cheese coming your way.
Getting hungry.
Also, they continue.
Heck?
Fellow hashtag van lifer here. What is the post-Boston plan for the van? Any trips planned? What gets fixed next?
Oh. So you heard about the licensing part. That was the immediate next thing. That is solved. Check. But then immediately, Chris, you and I were like, well, what do we do next? There's like a giant list of need to do's and would be nice to do's, and then a range of, I think, ambitions.
Yep.
Various trips we want to do. I think probably the first big trip coming up is you're headed to my place.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for our summer road
Wait,
trip.
are you driving the van there?
Well, I think he's going to carpool. We're going to caravan.
This might be
are
a
you
thing.
here? Are you here for a couple weeks?
Well, I did bring my cats, so
yeah,
I could
right.
stay a couple weeks.
Yes,
and
of
then
course.
We could...
And then caravan it back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have the cats been in it yet?
No.
No,
Ooh.
not yet.
I wonder, are they road cats?
They're quite road cats.
Great.
Yeah, I realized that now we're up to something like 1,800 kilometers together, which is, 1,200 miles, something like that.
They had to car camp on the way over here, and it got cold.
I was telling our dear producer, Jeff, the fact that I'm here with the cats because we sent him photos of us working on the van. He's like, how are you back in the States already? And it turns out my cats are they've been to more countries than Jeff has. So, Jeff,
Oh my
get on
gosh,
that
that's
passport.
funny.
We got to change that.
Yeah, he is working on it. And I think as far as like long-term road trips go, I know like a big rock, as they say, would be the Texas Linux Fest in October.
Yeah, that is really one of the goals we set early on.
Yeah, if we could do that on a budget and it's not too hot, I think that'd be a fantastic trip. And it gives us time to get a working electrical system in there for the interior and all that. So
I think in the members portion of the show, you had mentioned the odometer is kind of high on the list too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little problem with like trying to judge what speed you're driving at. But
There's all that.
minor.
Oh, and the
The
speedometer.
longer
yep.
you drive it, the more accurate. It starts to get in within a 5 to 10 mile per hour range if you drive it for a while.
It does bounce constantly, so you have to do the
Yeah.
averaging live.
When you first start it up and first start driving, like it's bouncing from 0 miles per hour to like 100 or whatever the max is. It's boom, 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 boom.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like a windshield wiper.
Yes, yes.
Let's clean the
Clicks.
speed.
It also clicks too. It goes like click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click. So it's like a
Oh,
hilarious.
that's probably a cool sound.
It is.
You could use Google Maps to
Oh, yeah,
tell
we
you
do.
how fast you are.
That's
going.
what we were doing. Yeah,
that's so cool.
We had the phones,
Wow.
so it was fine. Practically
Wow.
speaking, we knew what speeds we were going, but I don't think I don't think a cop would take that answer.
No. Chris, since you and I had to do that in the van when we drove it up here, I kind of, got used to doing that.
Yeah.
So in my car on the way just yesterday, on the way here, I did like, an 8-hour drive, something like that with the cats. I put the map up to like judge my speed because I don't know. I kind of like glancing over at the
I do
real
too.
speed. It turns out my speedometer is totally wrong on my actual vehicle. It's off by like something like 3-4 kilometers
Good
per
to know.
hour. So
Good to
I've
know.
been driving slower than I thought.
So that's the reason. I actually trained myself with the RV because from the moment I started driving, I think, or pretty close to it, I put a little Garmin nav on the dash. 'Cause
Yeah.
the thing didn't have any built-in nav. And that has a speedometer on it. And since I basically put that in there from the moment I started driving, I never trained myself to look at the speedometer. I always just look at the navigation.
That's what
yes.
I'm starting to do, you bastard.
But then what happens is like I need Hideo or the co-pilot to update the route. So then they have to take the navigation. I'm like,
Oh,
here's
and
my
you have nothing-
speedometer.
yeah.
And then literally one time I'm like, I don't know what speed I'm going. And India's like, look at the speedometer. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
oh yeah, right.
Yeah, I noticed Google Maps is 1 mile per hour less
Oh. How
than
do you
mine.
know? Oh, okay. One is, I think, in the acceptable range.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
there
think
is-
so, too.
There is some float in the phone's accuracy.
Right.
There is,
That's
yeah.
what I'm figuring. It's just yeah.
Chris, you have this amazing app that
I
you
do.
use for this. Do you remember what it's
For
called?
iOS. Oh yeah, I love this app. It's called Where Am I? Which is great because I'll often stop somewhere. I'm like, where am I? And so
Yeah.
I type that in there
He
and it
loses
launches.
himself often.
Yeah. But what it does is it gives you the address that you're currently at, the longitude and latitude, the altitude, the county, the state.
Wow.
And that's when you're traveling.
Yeah.
Kind of handy. But
Oh
then
my gosh.
the other thing it does, which is sort of neat, is it then shows you any Wikipedia article related around you, which again is kind of nice when you're traveling because you can find famous places.
Right. I was going to say, like, to geographical.
Yeah, so my location. And then it shows them on a map. And then the other thing it does, which Brent's always teasing me, is it has a speedometer. And right now
It's 1 mile
it says
per
I'm going
hour.
1 mile per hour here in the
You're
studio.
going places, Chris.
It's kind of funny. It's a good app, but sometimes it thinks I'm going 1 mile per hour when I'm not.
I like you. You're a hot ticket.
Oh, Mr. West Payne boosted in with 3,333 sats.
Coming in hot with the boost.
Said, so whose name is on the Vamoose registration? Did Sneaky Chris get a new van? And does Hadia know?
So there is a recent song of Chris falling in love with another man's van.
What, you're saying I love another man's van?
It is complicated, Chris.
Chris found love, but it's complicated, man. Turns out he's in love with another man's van. Rescued from the brink, should've never worked at all. Fixed fuel leaks in Jeff's yard, praying it wouldn't stall. Yeah, Chris.
I mean, the van might be legally in my name right now, but that doesn't mean anything.
I don't know how I feel about this now. I thought it was a good idea from a logistical point of view, but now I'm starting to feel a little betrayed here.
You're in a van triad now. You realize that? You appreciate that? Like you brought another man into your van relationship.
I mean, you did sleep in it recently.
The funny thing I think Hadia knew it was on the table of options, but she didn't technically find out until dinner that night.
Yeah, that's true. After it was all done, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm having flashbacks of not finding out about things until way after the fact.
I move quick sometimes, okay? I move quick.
I love how the registration lady was like, oh, you going to be on the title too?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, he's just an observer.
I said you were my observer mechanic. Yeah. No, it's true. For now, at least for now, until we get everything sorted out. But I felt like this was probably the cleanest trajectory when it goes time to import it.
Oh, you seem to think that. Yeah, you seem perfectly fine with how this trajectory is going.
Well, it came on quick. I thought we'd have like a couple of days of debating our options and whatnot, but it just went so smooth. It was like, don't stop it now. Of course, I got suckered with the $360 licensing bill, too.
It sounds like that's how much you're selling it to Brent for.
Ooh.
There you go. Also, just shout out to Odyssey Westra. He boosted in below the 2,000 sat cutoff, but he was supporting our track that week. And he says, I always love the music on the JB podcasts. And that also went to Nostra. So all of Odyssey's followers on Nostra also saw him linking to that song.
Nice.
So that's really cool. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who supported this here gosh darn show. We had 8 of you stream sats. I'd love to see that tick up a little bit, but we had 8 of you stream sats as you listened, and we stacked 7,147 sats. Do you remember our dramatic sound effect?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you combine that with our boosters, we stacked a humble but appreciative 92,924 sats.
And now, on with the show.
So I think a lot of us are probably familiar with the cat poop parasite that can get in your brain and make you susceptible to mind control by cats. Like we're all pretty... What? No? All right, here's a little clip.
I love cats, so don't write. But our lovable felines may be carrying a parasite, and Elise Coulter found it can affect your brain. Elise?
Yeah, Jack, well, the parasite actually lives inside of your cat, and they can shed it at any time. But is this tiny organism you see here, is it actually something to worry about?
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie
There's something in the air.
that's invading your body.
There's someone in your bed, and it looks like you.
But the truth is, it's real.
It's a parasite that can infect humans.
This single-celled parasite is called Toxoplasma gondii, and according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 60 million people in the U.S. are already infected.
Typically, they don't have symptoms and they don't know they've been infected.
Ike Northern is the director of infectious disease testing at CompuNet. Northern says the culprits are...
Cats tend to be one of the main reservoirs.
The parasite...
All right, so I think this is... A lot of us know about this, right? Yet we still love these cats.
Mm-hmm.
That might explain a lot about me,
But a microbiologist by the name of Bill Sullivan has been exploring a new dimension to this parasite. And it appears the parasite can decapitate sperm.
So, cat poop.
Yep.
Parasites
Yep.
are the new birth control.
Right? Just load up on cats. No wonder why
All the
crazy
cats.
cat ladies never get
Right.
pregnant. Yeah.
Better than surgery.
Did you say never get pummeled?
Pregnant.
Oh, pregnant.
They now say that toxoplasma is affecting up to 50% of the world's population.
Whoa.
Right. Well, yeah, we have way more parasites.
Wait.
Yeah, we swim in them.
But there are other countries that do regular cleanses. And in America, we're like, let's eat more crappy food that makes them worse and feeds them all these pets.
So,
Chris, wait. You didn't quite finish that sentence.
Uh-huh.
It says, infecting up to 50% of the world's population through contaminated food, water, and undercooked meat.
Yeah.
So you're blaming all this on my
Oh,
cats.
no. No, only about some of it. Only some of it.
I feel cheated.
Here in the West, it's commonly comes from the cats, but in other parts of the world, it's bad food. But a 2021 study in Prague found that over 86% of infected men have had semen anomalies. So they looked at some past studies from China around toxoplasma. They looked at a couple other studies. And then in 2025, another study took it further by exposing human sperm directly to the parasite, observing significant damage within just 5 minutes, including decapitation and cell invasion attempts.
All right, so these are single cells, so they're not visible. So you can't collect them and just have them around at post shenanigans.
Oh my God. There's a paste for that.
Anyways, I just thought, wouldn't it be funny if, well, not funny, but wouldn't it be ironic if like society begins to depopulate and then we discover it's because of our love for cats? I mean, I'm just saying maybe.
I mean, they did have to try to find other reasons for infertility, right?
Right. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I don't want to blame it on other things.
There's
This is an easy
there's
excuse.
my bacon.
So I have a question here.
Okay. That's exciting.
So on show days, Chris, you come in nice and early into the studio and you like start putting together a show, and you got some ideas, of conversations we've had and things of.
You're wondering what influenced this in going in the show?
How did you predict that question?
Well, I noticed you brought 2 cats with you, so.
Oh, so you're like now feeling like I'm endangering your little gents? Is that the
Well,
problem?
at least I need a muse, Brent. I need a muse. I can't lie.
Well, and then to make it even more perfect, he asked me, "What are you thinking about for catching up with Ange?" I'm like, "How about having a dog?"
Yeah,
again?"
well, it's perfect.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, so this
perfect.
is just an animal-centric episode."
All right, Ange.
Yes.
Now, before we get out of here, every now and then I like to
Yep.
pitch a good investment.
I've been watching for investments.
I figured the best way to make a smart, life-changing investment is to just randomly pick from a wheel of possible investments. So,
Okay.
on the wheel this week, I have a hidden in Seattle property,
Okay.
a Wyoming private castle,
Ooh.
a getaway cave,
Oh my gosh.
a vintage zombie ranch,
Okay.
and Pope Leo's childhood home.
Who's Pope Leo?
The new Pope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were calling Leo Laporte Pope Leo now, so I thought I missed something.
That would be
like,
so good.
The only Leo in my life is Leo. Okay, so hidden in Seattle sounds like it should
for
stay
people
hidden.
who like to mess with computers.
I would be down with that.
It's for people who like to mess with religion, Chris.
Yeah, I sent Leo Laporte our stickers, and he showed them live
That's true.
on his stream.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
I've put them all on a roulette style wheel for you.
Oh no! Well, I was just going through them.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can do that, but let me just tell you my initial.
Yeah, sure.
Real quick thought: hidden in Seattle should stay hidden. Wyoming private castle. It's probably not quite the castle that I'm thinking.
Okay.
Should stay
A
private.
getaway cave sounds like it is literally a hole in the side of a hill.
Ooh, I like that.
Vintage zombie ranch. Oh my god!
I mean, spread out a little bit, right?
Halloween time maybe should
Yeah.
be fun.
Ultimate.
Pope Leo's childhood home. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know on that one.
That's a great investment if you think about it. As long as he's a good pope. If he's a bad pope, it could be a bad investment. So I feel like since these are too hard, they're all good. They're all clear winners. We'll just leave it to
Yep.
random
Okay.
chance, which is
Yep.
how everybody should invest.
Let's see it.
All right, here we go.
No, it's rigged. It's rigged. It's rigged.
All right, so you got Pope Leo's childhood home. All right, so this one is fascinating. So a flipper bought this house in the Chicago suburbs for $60,000, $66,000.
Can I click on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is probably all this house is worth. Then they gutted the interior, not appreciating the fact that it had historical significance because it didn't yet at the time.
Yeah, it clearly wasn't.
Yeah. They gutted the interior, but they're still trying to now flip it. And they've gone from selling it for $200,000 to now unlisting it and putting it up on auction, and it's expected to go for millions of dollars.
Oh, well, okay, so it's not even affordable.
Well, I mean, Maybe you could get it at a cheap price. I don't know. It was built in 1949. It's 1,050 square feet. It's tiny. I mean,
it is tiny.
Yeah, it's the
It is
smallest
very
1,000 square
modernized.
feet.
It's like weirdly modernized.
The primary bedroom is 90 square feet, so they're pretty small rooms. Laundry
Yeah.
is 64 square feet.
Yeah. Aw.
No? All right. We'll do. Okay. Then, okay. Well, you can pass on one. That's fair. We'll
All
do
right.
another one.
Okay.
Last chance.
It likes red. It
Yeah.
favors red.
All right. So this one is the Seattle Hidden Home.
All right. It's going to hit home.
So the Seattle Hidden Home, I couldn't believe when I found this one. To really appreciate it, first you got to look at the picture. It is about the size of a shed.
It looks like a doghouse.
Yeah, or a doghouse, a big doghouse.
A big, yeah.
Yeah. One bath, one bed.
Oh my gosh.
460 square feet, $220,000.
This is insane.
Do you see the location? You got to look at the location. It's even better.
I mean, I see the barbed wire fence like a prison and next to a commercial building.
Yeah, so the kitchen window's got a barbed wire fence, which is, for safety. The interior is a little
Oh my
rough because
gosh.
it's been used for industrial purposes. But the real magic comes when you look at the Google Maps of where this thing's at. They have wedged it between a bunch of freight, like where a freight drops off a bunch of containers, and an industrial warehouse building, and it's on the actual harbor where in Seattle where they load and unload from the harbor all the time.
Oh, it'd be so loud. And you know what's interesting is they don't show a picture of the harbor at all.
No, they
they're
don't.
not like, this is a view.
You could throw a rock to the water. It's so close to the water, but it is just not the waterfront view you want.
That's
at
horrible.
all. I know. But what's so weird about it, and truly bizarre, and I'll put the link in the show notes, is it's this teeny tiny house just wedged between factory buildings and shipping stuff.
Yeah. It doesn't even look leveled.
It looks like somebody refused to sell, and so industry just built around them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a house like that by my house. It's black, too. And they're going to build this whole community around a black house.
I know. I thought about this for Wes, though. It is waterfront property. It's, for 3-bedroom, 3-bath in downtown Seattle. We don't really know, I suppose, ultimately, but it's 1 bedroom, 1 bath. My bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's 460 square feet. There's not much there.
All right, there you go. Vintage zombie ranch and getaway cave we can look at another time.
Oh my gosh, this castle
That
is
castle's-
not affordable.
What?
14 million?
Don't you finance that. You don't worry about it. You
Yeah,
finance it, Angela.
The taxes. It is a legit castle
It is.
amongst the trees.
9,470 square feet.
Oh my goodness, I love the glass. Oh my gosh, did you see that stairwell?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think we found the one she likes.
I do. Oh my gosh.
She's got expensive taste.
This
over
looks like
there.
a castle you'd see
Look at that office.
in the old world, not in Wyoming. I mean, it's immaculate. It's beautiful.
Oh,
marble everywhere.
This
Plush.
can't be real.
It's
Right,
real.
right.
As long as you got $13.4 million.
Yeah.
That seems cheap for this thing.
Yeah.
Built in 92. So it actually works out to be $1,400 a square foot.
There's a spiral staircase.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know who built this.
This is so cool.
Modeled after the iconic Northwestern Castle.
Let's all chip in. A
Yeah.
JB castle.
It's based on one that is nestled in the Alps. It captures German architecture and grandeur.
Oh my gosh, it really is a cave.
There's a moose head
$6
in it.
million for a cave?
Well, come on, though, Ange. This is a great
okay.
investment. It's a getaway cave, so you could
It
sell
looks
it to.
like it's going to collapse.
I know, but you could sell it to like Zuckerberg or somebody for
End of days?
$12 million. Yeah, for their bunker. It's
Oh,
a
my
huge
goodness.
cave. I mean, honestly, you could fit like a fleet of vehicles in here.
174,000 square feet.
$6 million cave
In Kansas. What the heck?
I mean, these are some opportunities, right? And if you think about it, it's actually a great deal because it works out to just be $34 a square foot.
I think you have too much time on your hands.
I have questions about the cave because
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know how it works here in the states of United America or whatever you call it. But I thought when you bought a plot of land, like you owned the surface rights or something.
No,
but you
that's
don't
just your
actually
crazy
own the-
country. That's your crazy country.
Oh, okay.
If you discover something precious on your land here, you get to own it. Yeah, 108,900 square feet of usable space, 31 acres of potential commercial space, located in the heart of America, 10 minutes from Interstate 44. It's also, it could be, they say here, an executive home. There's 3 separate wells on site.
Only need one, but that's cool.
So, okay, would you like the cave out of all of these, or do you think...
No, the cave there's nothing even built. It's just literally holes.
Yeah, but $6 million seems like a lot, but when you break it down to square feet, it's only $34.
Hard to heat, though, I gotta say.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you just have to have a bunch of fires. Probably out of all of these, the Seattle home's the most practical, assuming that Pope Leo's childhood home probably ends up going for $1 million.
That's crazy.
I thought so. I thought you'd like those.
Is it weird that I kind of like a lot of these?
Yeah, I took a look at the ranch
Oh, you
because
did?
I couldn't leave that out.
Yeah.
I looked at all of them now, but the zombie ranch. Why do you call it a zombie ranch? It's called Lonesome Ranch.
Because it just looks like the kind of place you
Where you
end
go to
up...
die? Yeah.
No, like during a zombie apocalypse, you're like, for some reason, Airbnb in this place, and then a zombie... and you're like, it's this whole... It could be a movie set.
Sure. It is 12 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms.
Yeah.
But it is also unaffordable at $3.5 million.
Well, but it comes with a really cool work truck.
Does it come with a helicopter?
Right?
Yeah, it does have a helicopter pad.
Too.
It does have a helicopter pad. This is more like owning a whole town.
Yeah. This is like, if we want to get away from civilization.
Or create a podcast compound.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they break down the individual properties here at the bottom of the description. There's a lot of individual properties in there. Yeah.
As part, yeah.
45-minute flight to Los Angeles. So there you go. All right.
Wait, there's a door here. It says Sweetwater Mine, 1927. So does it have a mine on it?
It
too?
does.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like the best of.
Yeah, I'm
the
just
cave,
saying. We
and
all go
also-
in 3.5 mil. We get everybody gets a house. Everybody gets a spot, and we got a podcast compound. That's all.
I'm in.
Boomsies.
Boomsies. All right, that's it for us. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the launch this week. Links to what we talked about are at weeklylaunch.rocks. Love it if you joined us live next Tuesday. Catch it in your podcast app at around 11:30 a.m. Pacific. And that's converted at jupiterbroadcasting.com/calendar. Of course, the show releases on Wednesdays for your convenience after it's been given a little love from editor Drew. Thank you so much for being here from the beautiful Pacific Northwest and the mighty American West Coast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.